Hey everyone, Merch Hunter Ricky back, and we're talking about the most recent chapter of One Piece that is to be 1119. Yes, I'm talking recent chapters again, and this is going to be a regular move going forward for the channel. Now, I'm not going to break down the entire chapter because I plan to do that when the official comes out due to the way the end of the chapter is structured. But, assuming you've read the chapters or enjoy spoilers, feel free to continue this video. But if you're not caught up, or at least past 1118, please go and read the spoilers or don't get mad if you get spoiled. Okay, so in the latest chapter, we see that Luffy, Bonnie, Frankie, and Sanji have to team up and do a super combination attack just to get Mars off the ship. Now, we know that this isn't going to be something that's going to hurt Mars or kill Mars. And it's making me think, can the Giants or Zoro's Kitetsu hurt the Gorosei? Moreover, what can hurt the Gorosei? I bring up the Giants first because the Giants are here in the flesh. There is many of them, you know? And this whole crew of Giants, they're all roughly the height of the transformed Gorosei, and they have experience fighting giant animals. Now, the Giants don't know what the Gorosei are, but I wonder a couple things. One, if the Giants were to learn the nature of the Gorosei's powers, demonic or some type of borrowed power from Emu, whatever have you, maybe even devil fruit power, right? If they find this out, can they hurt the Gorosei with just their natural giant strength? Because the power scaling of a giant is weird, right? You know, they can overturn a ship due to their size, but someone with hockey can just flip them around, human size, flipping around a giant, you know? But I'm talking an experienced giant, Dory and Bragi. If they were to hit a giant, or a Gorosei with a Hakoku sovereignty, for example, does the Gorosei reform after that? Because we're only seeing these Gorosei reform after parts of them have been destroyed. It's arguable how much of them got destroyed when Luffy reflected Saturn's weird like spit bomb attack and he hit it back with a bat. You know, we saw 3 Gorosei have to reform after that, but were they completely obliterated and they still reformed? Or does, you know, the Gorosei's brain have to reform? I really want to know. Like, specifically the Giants intrigue me the most. I'm going to talk about other ways to hurt the Gorosei in a little bit here, but the Giants, they have to have something in their giant lineage because all the races of One Piece that are not human have something fantastical and amazing about them. And when you think about it, humans' ability to learn hockey at the way they do, maybe that is their amazing racial feat, you know? Like how fishmen get water karate and, you know, long arm and long legs people, they got those limbs on lock and they can do weird punchy things like we saw in Dressrosa. I wonder if Giants have some sort of like, is it our blood? Is it our size? Do we have some sort of cultural weapon, like runic weaponry, like how the real world Vikings created this sword called an Ulfbert? The Ulfbert was basically just steel, but steel in a time where people were just still using basic iron and crappy metal. So, you know, 6 foot tall dudes that are 200 pounds wielding whole ass steel all day because they infused a regular sword with a carbon flux, this being bare bones, and the bare bones made the iron really hard, turning it to steel. I'm wondering, when they carved the runes in the sword, they know that they were just adding more stability to it by making those metallic rune slots, or did they really think they were adding straight up magic to their swords? Because they were destroying people left and right. And if we apply this like logic that the Vikings of our time are the Giants in One Piece, will we see a giant with a runic weapon at some point and he just, you know, grazes a Gorosei's skin, that cut doesn't heal and the Gorosei's like, oh shit. That's why, the Giants already worship Nika, and this has already invoked the great ire of the Gorosei. They said it's a dangerous combination and they don't like the fact that they're teaming up. So was Nika real ever? If he ever was he a giant? Was Joy Boy just so influential that he influenced the Giants' culture for 800 years to come, right? Was Nika something that all the Giants just straight up know who it is and they don't really talk about it until now, later in the series. I'm wondering, right, is Oda using this now? And if it is the giants that he's going to use, are they going to be the ones to hurt the Gorosei first? My guess is yes. I hope it is yes, and that's where I'm putting my stocks. And obviously there are other ways to hurt the Gorosei. For example, Zoro and the Kitetsu. We saw that Nosturo reacted to Zoro's sword, and Zoro's swords reacted to Nosturo's sword. But was it simply the two cursed swords clashing, or was it the fact that Zoro was about to be near demonic presence in the form of Venus-Juro? If the Kitetsu were to make contact with Venus-Juro's skin, would we have seen the first inklings of a hurt Gorosei not recovering? You know, we've seen Nami straight up blow Saturn's face clean off. We've seen Kuma punch Saturn so hard that his arm had to reform, right? All these crazy different attacks hitting the Gorosei, and they're just reforming. But would a Kitetsu slash stop that in its tracks? Would a giant runic sword stop that in its tracks? Would your basic form of Conqueror's Haki, if strong and overwhelming enough, stop that? These are, you know, a lot of good questions. But my main theory, my main guess would hopefully be that the giants have some sort of cultural weapon passed down through generations, or just some sort of ancient blacksmithing technique that maybe when you smith a weapon with Haki, it creates a runic weapon capable of hurting the Gorosei. You know, obviously I got no proof for this. I got no reason for even really thinking this, other than the Vikings have shown up at the same time that the demonic overlords of the One Piece world have shown up, and they seem ready to square up. And although they might not be faring amazingly against the Gorosei, they're still kind of holding their own. And this is what I'm wondering, if, like I said earlier, are the Gorosei kind of afraid of the giants because simply the giant size is enough to begin to damage the Gorosei, or enough giants hurting one Gorosei can cause the Gorosei to actually die? Or do the giants carry a cultural weapon? I really think it is this cultural weapon. Maybe a Sword of the Sun. We saw that Dory and Bragi have all these tag team moves. You know, Hokoku Sovereignties, Fallen Sun Shield. We see that giants specialize in not only attacking constantly, but together. So it's not just one giant, it's like 7+ giants attacking your fleet. The greatest warrior war force known in the One Piece world. Big Mom wanted this really badly. Another way to potentially hurt the Gorosei, soul weaponry. Could Brook actually harm Saturn if he knew how to weaponize his soul better? Could Big Mom, if she was around, hit them with a Mother's Day 3,000 Leagues of Misery and just completely annihilate one Gorosei? I really want to know. You know, if you have any theories you know, at all, just drop them down below. Let's talk about them. I can bring them up in the next video I do. But for real, right now, you're hearing it from me. My simple theory is that the Gorosei fear the giants because the giants might have some sort of weapon, a cultural weapon, or a cultural smithing technique, or some sort of fighting technique that will hurt the Gorosei. Maybe the giants aren't aware of what the Gorosei are, and it's simply a matter of them realizing what the Gorosei are, and the giants can come through. We'll see. But that's just a simple thought from me, Merchant Ricky, and I hope you all have a great night. Thanks for sticking around, and let's read some more One Piece, y'all.